All right, going live. Microphone check. Microphone check. Audio looks leveled. All right, so this is my first live dev stream. I have no idea what to expect or what is really going to happen. Just here to make sure that everything looks and sounds good. I have a checklist of some things I want to accomplish today. Probably going to stream for about an hour, maybe more, depending on how far I can really push this. All right, so you've got this scene here, gas station, and I'm working on the sort of pseudo nightmare version of the gas station scene. The player gonna kind of crawl out this window here. You're gonna need to check out this dumpster to find a syringe. Use the syringe on this can of fungicide, and use that to kill this giant flower with a grasping hand that is preventing you from continuing. I'm gonna test my scene out. Unity decides to load. Kind of falls out too high, the window slams shut too long. There's also this really annoying truck in the background. I need to remove that. I'm going to add it to my to-do list. So, Lamar falls from too high of height. Silence, noisy truck. The parenting on the lighter is just all wonky. Showing that updating my to-do list here. Like the parenting on the lighter is wonky. Lighter is already lit when removed from pocket. um, the camera should reset to a default position after this scene, because right now the camera, like, I can move around, but yeah, until I actually move from a certain distance from where you begin, the camera is just like, it's just kind of bad. And even it's really difficult to do fixed camera angles on games. Like it's a lot of derivative. Um, I can walk through the picnic table, adding that to my list. I also need to modify I need to modify this camera transition, because like I can't actually transition to the other camera from the edge here, although I can from like this bottom left corner, and that's just a bad setup. Yeah, so I need to pull the camera from this alleyway a bit out so that I can transition to it much cleaner. Make a little gross, like, kind of mucusy sound effect for the hand. Also, the hand animation. The hand should reach out sooner. Like, as it's turning around, it should reach out, but and when I walk away from the flower, it should automatically, yes, it should automatically close, and I shouldn't be able to interact with it until it's done with its whole. Okay, yeah, I mean that works. That works well enough. All right, well, I've got some things to work on. Um, First, however, I'm going to create an interaction for the bathroom windows, just to clue the player on that that is not a valid way to exit the scene. So I have these yellow boxes in the software that I use, Adventure Creator. These are hotspots. They determine what can be interacted with. So I'm just going to scale that down a bit, push it back a bit. Widen it for the player's convenience. This will be bathroom window HS for hotspot. Bathroom window. I can use this little arrow right here is a marker that determines where the player will walk to when they interact with a hotspot. So bathroom window, I want to tag it to the fall from bathroom marker. Say walk to marker. I do not want him to face it after he. I'm actually just going to duplicate this because I do want him to face the direction of the window while he's walking. So I'm just going to call this bathroom window marker. All thrilling stuff. So got walk to the bathroom window marker, face it after moving. I'm going to create a new use interaction. And here I have my action editor. This is where the magic happens. So I do want my character to animate. It is the player. I'm going to change a parameter value. My animations are a mess. Like this is the default animation layer. You know, you've got the walking, you've got like him looking, interacting with objects. This animation layer controls just the head, you know, looking left and right, up and down. I have miscellaneous animations that are meant to override the base layer. But I also have like the talking animation, you know, the PlayStation 1 like and sitting. These are additive layers, so they happen simultaneously. Um, yep. I'm doing well. Bad tunes. I want to try streaming. So this is just my test stream just to make sure that everything goes well. I hope my audio and everything sounds right. It looks good on my end. But yeah, if I'm like peaking or anything, just shout at me. Okay, so I want him when he interacts with the window to sort of reach up. I have this huge list of variables I need to check. I do have one that's like, I believe it's extend hand. I'm just gonna try this. Smooth as butter is a good place to be. So I'm gonna say when the player interacts with the bathroom window, hello Jamexa, welcome to the stream. I'm gonna turn on the animation bool to have him like kind of reach up to the window. I'm gonna put like a half a second delay on that before I meet. I used to do animations by triggers, and ideally a trigger is like is just like a single. You fire it off. It's supposed to play the animation, but the triggers never work. Unity's triggers are garbage. Do not like bother with them. Oh man, I'm speaking of smooth of butter, I got the butter fingers. Okay, so I fire off the animation, and I want to turn off the animation bool. And then I'm just gonna have him like say something cheeky, like the window is too high up to climb back in. Whenever I write dialogue, it's always temporary. I have an outline for where I want the story to be, but any actual like script, I rarely script anything just because it changes so often while I'm working. So I'm going to test that interaction out that I just created. All right, and here's a problem. My inventory window activates when you hover the mouse over the top of the screen. The window is on the top of the screen, so I can't actually access the window. All right, another thing for the to-do list as I walk through the walls of the gas station. But all right, and I passed the invisible trigger that caused the camera to switch. So we are just, I mean, like this. Hey, this is why I want to do this. Finding issues everywhere. Uh, to answer your question, Enver, I believe the Unity triggers are tied to frame rate, um, or at least they just don't work well with the asset that I'm using, Adventure Creator, because I've had I've had players who say that the animations trigger perfectly, and I've had players that say the animations never trigger at all. But when I use booleans to control the animations, zero problems. So the common denominator there is just telling me that like just triggers are bad. And a couple of other people who use Adventure Creator to make adventure games in Unity, like Nath, who's doing the amazing looking Hollow Body. He mostly uses Adventure Creator to make his games, and he's also complained about triggers a lot. So just as a rule, I don't use triggers. All right. I have lost my train of thought. I believe I was going on about the yes the interactions for the camera change. So yeah, as you can see, this one is too wide. The player needs to cross too far a path in order for this transition to occur. I'm going to shrink this. We'll just call this 5.5. Move it a bit to the left. And also the camera that's pointing at the bathroom window is too low because it is causing an issue where I cannot actually look high up enough to interact with the bathroom window. Yes, this is a point and click adventure game, kind of stylized after like Gabriel Knight. Although my plans eventually, I want to incorporate controller based movement. That was giving me a little trouble having direct control of the player's movement. I'm just going to angle this camera up a bit so that I can see the bathroom window. Okay, I need to figure out like what camera is actually all right. I believe what the problem is that I have the camera. Yes, I'm telling the camera to look at the player. So it's not going to be angled correctly. So I'm just going to punch out of this and affect the height offset in a positive direction. Let's say a height offset of 3. Okay, and of course with Unity, any changes you make in test play mode are not carried over when you exit test play mode. Very annoying function of Unity, but I understand why they do it. It's kind of like a failsafe. There we go. Okay. All right, and it's not even. I didn't even use the correct animation. He's supposed to reach up, not reach out. Another good example of why you should correctly name your variables. I believe stretch is the this this is all just this is silly. This is just a silly thing to just like talk about with no context. So we'll do stretch. Yes, yeah, I think point and click games are underrated as well, and they're also just kind of a pain in the butt to develop. No, okay, all right, no, this is okay. I know I used this. Gabriel Knight is a good game. It is indeed. I know I used the correct animation in another scene, so you're all about to get a quick peek at the not Silent Hill 2 bathroom. Here's the legally distinct Silent Hill 2 bathroom. Um, and somewhere in here, I have the correct animation. Somewhere in here, I think, I think, I think there's the correct. Oh my God! Oh no! Okay. Oh boy! All right. You try to fix one problem and you discover another. Oh man. All right. uh okay. I'm just going to exit out of this. All right. I'm just going to go to the character himself and just go through this whole list. Yeah, yep, he's got his uh all right. Okay. Yep, this is what game dev is like. It is just attaching bubblegum and duct tape. Ah, here we go. Reach. Nope. Reach up. Yes, there we go. There we go. Reach up. Reach up. Okay. Back to the outside scene. All right, let's try this. This should work now. Kind of, but it's like it's better. This will be something that I refine at a later point in time. But it does the interaction that I want it to do. Yeah, yeah. I'm not really going for like necessarily a scary vibe. Just eerie, just unsettling. It's a lot of dreamy kind of off-putting environments that are still grounded in realism. So back to my checklist. I haven't really like I wanted an interaction for the bathroom window. Um, I I don't really understand. I know what liminal spaces are, but I don't really set out to create liminal spaces. If that makes any sense. Like I draw from reality, and then I just kind of like just twist it in a kind of an understated way. Like in this sequence, you exit the bathroom window, and there's like barbed wire thorns on this brick wall, and there is of course a monster flower blocking the gate leading out. Yeah, yeah. I mean, as like if as far as excuse me. Yeah, yeah. Like as you know, something is not right. That should be very obvious. I'm just going to create a quick interaction with the bathroom window. If you look at it, which just is something to say, you know, it's bathroom window. That'll change at a later date. I'm just putting placeholder text here. And back to my checklist. I've created interaction and examination for the bathroom window, and now I need to work on a syringe in the dumpster. That's a good place where you find syringes. The game is called Still Ridge. It is there is an extensive preview demo available on Steam, which you can download and play right now. And wishlist the game because that'd be great. It's still a ways off. Like I it's still like about a year off realistically. But I'm hoping with these streams I can actually get some forward momentum. Just because I work a full time job, so things are a bit erratic. All right, so we've got this syringe in the dumpster. You can pick it up. You can examine it. Uh, and in fact, yep, when you pick it up, adds it to your inventory, and it disables the hotspot so you can't pick it up twice. I am going to call this one, strike that from my checklist. Um, Now we're going to check that is a good suggestion. I'm going to add it to my checklist. Add Steam link to all further stream descriptions. Okay, so I've got I'm gonna rename this syringe to empty syringe because we will be filling it in a second. And when you examine it, a dirty syringe with a rest flecked needle, it's still very sharp. Telling the player it's rusty will play into a later puzzle where you have to turn the needle into a makeshift compass. All right, now I need to create an interaction with the fungicide. So I'm going to choose the empty syringe. We're going to have the player walk to the fungicide's marker. We're going to have the player face the fungicide, and we're going to create the we're going to create the interaction. So I want the character to animate, and again, I need to check his I believe extend hand should be fine. What are you looking for in a point and click adventure game? Because I have a lot of suggestions. Have him extend his hand. Wait half a second, turn off the animation. Then we'll have the player just say something like, the syringe is full of a green liquid. Again, this is all placeholder text. Now I need to actually create the inventory item. I'm just gonna call this syringe. Before I do that, though, I need to create a new sprite for the full syringe. So y'all are gonna watch me do some image editing in Photoshop. I still use Photoshop CS6 because I am not paying Adobe like $30 a month. And if that's a violation of their terms and conditions, they can bite my whole booty. I'm temporarily just going to darken this background layer so I can actually see what I'm editing. And let me see if the magic wand. Nope, magic wand is not going to be helpful. Let's set that. Nope. Okay, I'm actually going to create a clipping mask because I'm going to create a clipping mask because I only want to affect the layers of the syringe itself. So let me see, this should work. Yes, all right, okay. So we are just going to fill this up. We're going to lower the opacity. Say 70%. Multiply looks good. All right. Now I'm going to save this as a PNG. I'm just going to call it full syringe INV. Maybe not super old. Okay. Let me think. Let me go into point and click adventure game chat. If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna bring up my Steam because I'm just gonna list some recommendations of games I've been enjoying recently. Let's see here. I've got a couple I've been socking away. I have no mouth and I must scream. Ignore the playtime. I played this mostly on good old games. I I buy way too many games, like most people who play Steam games. So I've got games that exist on like both Steam and GOG. Nelly Kutalot. This is a very cute Monkey Island throwback. There's two of them. It's by the red-haired guy who does all of those like funny internet videos. That's not doing him justice. I'm gonna look up his name real quick. It's like Alistair Beckett King. If you ever seen like a funny red-haired man making hilarious videos, he made this game, Nelly Kudalat, and a few other Monkey Island clones. Um, so yeah, this is a really good one. Kentucky Route Zero. This one's influenced. This one has influenced a little bit of Still Ridge, just in the way that it is how cinematic it is. Less focus on puzzles, more on just a wild theatrical presentation. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, classic from the '90s. Um, I like Grim Fandango. That wasn't one that I played as a kid. Most of the adventure games I played as a kid were humongous games. Spy Fox, Freddy Fish, Pajama Sam. Grim Fandango I just completed last year or the year before, and it was pretty good. It was really good. I did not like the second chapter that took place in like the Casablanca sort of throwback area, but that was just because it was just too long. But yeah, overall, Grim Fandango. I'm not telling you anything new, but it's a good game. My favorite point and click. Oh, I've been showing y'all games that are only installed on my computer. That's I was like, why don't I have more recommendations for you? But I had to turn off that filter. One of my favorites of recent years is Perfect Tides. Um, should have it in my complete section. Perfect Tides is a game about what it's like being 13 in the year 2000. And because I was like 13 in the year 2000, it really speaks to a time where it's difficult to imagine unless you were there what it was like going from the Dewey Decimal System in one year to just I have all of Wikipedia at my fingers the next year. What it was like finding small communities online. Um, what it was like being like the nerd in class back when before nerds were ubiquitous. Because now we're living in the Revenge of the Nerds, where like Star Wars and Marvel are the big thing. But Perfect Tides, this was my game of the year 2022. Elden Ring, get out of here. Like this game about being a dorky teenager in during Y2K. Um, but yeah. I have no mouth and I must scream. Nelly Kudalat, Kentucky Route Zero, Perfect Tides. Like these are some 10 out of 10 games for me, in my opinion. I will go back to game chat a little later. I just want to complete what I've got going on here. So I've created the full syringe, which I need to remove this layer before saving, so it doesn't show up in the game itself. Emily is away. Yeah, I've heard about those like phone simulator games, but I've never played them. There's just so many games that there's just too many games. Um, once I finish this section, I'll talk about the games that I'm currently playing. I do a lot of gaming on the Steam Deck, just because I can do it in bed. I can wake up, turn on the Steam Deck, put on a pot of coffee, and just like play a couple hours in bed. And it's really the only way I can actually get any gaming done at all. All right, so we've got the full syringe uh, sprite that I just made. I don't care about the pixels per unit because it just it's not going to apply to the system I'm using. Need transparency. I want no filtering, and boom, there we go. Okay, back into the inventory section. I've got the empty syringe and I've got the full syringe. I'm going to drag and drop the full syringe on there. I'm going to create an examine interaction. So when the player looks at it, we can have some kind of uh okay, all right. I need you go into here. I moved the sprite instead of the action. So I just gotta you go back into the all right. So when the player examines the syringe, just gonna make some placeholder dialogue here. Have say syringe is full of a strange green liquid. I need to go back to the fungicide interaction. Okay, so um, once you fill the syringe, I need to actually remove the object from the inventory. I need to remove the empty syringe. And then I need to add the full syringe to the inventory. Let's test that out. I learned Unity. I started Unity in 2019. Um, and I really just joined game jams. I made my first Unity game 2019 about February. It was a point and click adventure game that is like just but it is god awful. Uh, but you know you got to start somewhere, and then every new game jam, I just decided to learn a new skill, and so around 2020, when the Haunted PS1 demo disc was accepting submissions, I made a PT clone. I was like, okay, everybody's making PT clones. Everybody's doing first-person PT clones. What if somebody made Clock Tower, like the point-and-click PlayStation game Clock Tower, but it was PT? And that was my cheeky game jam submission for the Haunted PS1 disc. Um, and everybody told me the game portion of my PT Clock Tower remake was kind of mid, but they all loved the diner scene. So I was like, okay, I understand. I'm better at creating worlds than I am creating games, and that's how Still Ridge was born. So I'm gonna check the dumpster. I need a sound effect for when the dumpster opens. I need to rename the syringe. It's got the incorrect name, but you know, interact with it. It's a dirty syringe. You pick it up. I need to close the dumpster after he picks up the syringe. But we're going to use the syringe on the fungicide. All these collisions. I need to work on these collisions. Syringe is full of a green liquid, and what's going on here? Where's my syringe? It's not in my inventory. Yep, this is game dev. Because I told the game to remove the full syringe, but now that I know that works or will work, I'm just gonna read the chat real quick. Um, sorry, Kizlerb. I'm sorry for butchering your name. I do not make web games. I do have a web game actually. If you'll excuse me, I'm just going to go to my itch page real quick. And make sure all my sidebars are sanitized so you don't get surprised by anything. Uh, I do have a web game. Here we go. It's called I Am a Vampire. I made it in GB Studio. It is a Game Boy game. It can be run on a Game Boy flash card. I run it on real hardware. Oh, gonna mute my mic. Sorry, I hope there's no weird feedback as I just played that game, uh but yeah, I made a Game Boy game for a game jam, and it was received fairly well. Um I kind of want to make a commercial Game Boy game, but the problem is I need to figure out how to create a launcher for it because I don't believe Steam would accept just like an open source emulator to run a game. So I'm going to cross that off on my list. I have created the full syringe item sprite and description. I'm going to cross that off my list. And now here's the fun part: interacting with the full syringe on the monster flower. Gonna check out the chat real quick. Having an issue trying to have a sprite that follows the head of the player. It is simple, but I'm having difficulty. Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't really provide any assistance based on that little description. But in in 3D, when working with Unity 3D with 3D models, you can create a blend shape. You can create shape keys, which is how I handle the character looking around. So you can see like I have the yaw and pitch. The yaw controls looking left and right. You can see I'm looking left and right, and the pitch is up and down. Um, I don't know how that would work in 2D uh, because I don't work in 2D a lot. Not in Unity. It's I just find it easier to work in 3D even when I'm making 2D games. And I do not know what Pokey Crazy Games is. Is that like an online platform or something? Hello M24. All right, I need an inventory interaction for the full syringe. I want the player to walk to the marker and face the flower after moving. I'm going to create the interaction for when you use the full syringe on the flower. Uh, Eventually, I will create a an animation of Omar inserting the syringe into the flower's wrist and watching it die. But instead, I'm just going to use the placeholder animation I have of just extending the hand. And if you've ever played an adventure game before, that's a very common interaction. It's just like somebody just kind of like grabbing something from the air. So we'll just do extend hand. Wait half a second. Turn off the Boolean. Um, cool. Yeah, as a teenager of the Y2K era, Newgrounds is in my blood. I spent an embarrassing amount of time on Newgrounds, and Homestar Runner. That was like that was a lot of my childhood. Okay, so well, all right. Now y'all are gonna get to watch me work in Blender because I need to create an animation for the melting flower. I do all my 3D work in Blender because Blender does not charge rent to use their software. Okay, so we've got the flower. I I only want to animate the flower portion itself. And I haven't decided what I want to do with it yet, but I think like I kind of want to just like begin to wilt. So I'm going to create a new shape key. I'm just going to call it wilting. So when I trigger this shape key, flower is going to just like kind of droop. Kind of droop without like breaking the whole model itself. Um, I think I need to, yes, I want to affect the whole flower. And I'm gonna have to be a little careful here because I'm starting to like break the model already. Yeah, all right, that's I'm gonna push the model a little harder. I really want to sell that the flower is like dying. All right. So I think the way I'm going to direct this is that this is basically going to be what the player sees. So the flower is just going to like slowly. I'm going to have the hand kind of like limply fall down. Um, and then I'm going to do the classic cinematographer trick of cutting to the player's perspective, looking horrified as you hear like sizzling and bubbling. Maybe have like some like gross mist uh, splash in off screen, and then I'm gonna cut back to it, and it's just gonna be like a globby mess on the ground. Um, in that true cutting corners. I say cutting corners. I like to call it budget. That true budget fashion. That old like Hollywood movie. We don't have the budget to actually show this thing melting, so we're gonna imply it. All right, now let's animate the actual hand. Um, I'm gonna call this animation flower dying. Let's set it to about 48. I'm gonna put my first keyframe at about 48 frames in, and I'm just going to show the hand like drooping. And yep, there we go. That I'm going to pull it out just a little bit. And let's see that animation in action. Yep, all right. Um, Again, this will be something that I refine over time, but just like I just gotta just rapidly make stuff. Create the broad strokes, and we can refine it later. And I'm going to I need to actually time it with the wilting effect, because otherwise the hand is just gonna like kind of float there. So back into pose mode. I want the hand's final resting place be about there. And then I can actually time this out in Unity. I'm just going to save this. I'm going to export the animation, and then I'm going to read the chat. So I'm gonna save this into for some reason I call the flower an animal, but that's just the way that I organize my files. M24. This game is about a it's about a therapist who can enter the dreams of his patients, and he is contacted by a presence in a faraway town that unless he comes to the town to deliver an item, someone will be murdered. So the character is like he has no reason to not believe this thing he's seeing because it is something connected to him. And he's not the kind of person who would stand by while someone is being threatened. And it's just it's a kind of Lynchian interaction with like a creepy haunted town. Um, I'm explaining it poorly, but that's just because I haven't drunk enough coffee yet. The Pursuer. I plan on making a video showing my animation process. I use segmented parts in that PlayStation style, and honestly, it works very well. It's much better for me than weight painting, just because weight painting is a pain in the butt. But when you have segmented parts, you can apply 100% of the weight to each of them. Um, and yeah, like there's nothing wrong with Mixamo. You know, use whatever resources you have to make a game. That's just there's I'm not gonna hate on anybody using Mixamo. I've used Mixamo before. Yeah. Um, and unfortunately, I don't really have any tutorials on hand for animation. Scratch that, I do. So I'm just gonna take a quick break here um, to to pull up uh, some videos that I can recommend for animation. I'm just checking my YouTube off to the side here.
The most recognizable card.
Okay, so this guy right here, let me pull this over. Joey Carlino makes very good animation videos. He's more like broad strokes, but this right here, my character animation secrets by Joey Carlino, um, is one of the most like in-depth videos I've seen for like complex rigging and animation. Um, and then Southern Shoddy. Southern Shoddy goes over more in-depth topics. In fact, Southern Shoddy's rig videos, where he tells you how to actually use Rigify, because Rigify just flew over my head when I first used it. But he tells you how to actually customize Rigify for rigging characters. Um, so yeah, Southern Shoddy and Joey Carlino, they make great videos for personal animation. Worst part of solo development is just finding the motivation, finding the time to do anything. I work a full-time job, 40 hours a week, and even though I have a great like 4 day a week schedule, when I'm not working, the last thing I want to do is sitting here at my desk working. Hi Quinn, welcome to the inaugural stream. Um, but yeah, when I'm not working my actual job, the last thing I want to do is sit here working. But I'm hoping these streams will help me improve my focus a bit because like otherwise this game won't be done until like 2030. I have not tested the PSX shader on Android. This game uses the Haunted PS1 render pipeline, which changes the way Unity actually displays its graphics. Um, so there's no, as far as I understand, there's no issue with any hardware because like this is Unity like Pasta's Future, the creator of the rendering pipeline, rewrote the rendering engine to make it look more old school. So anyway, back to the game. I need to actually import the animation of my dying flower. Uh, all right, okay. Um, when I exported the flower, I exported it with the shape key all the way on, which I do not want. Nope, gotta export that again. All right, there we go. Okay. Yep, yeah, we've got the idle animation. Got like a sort of got the the give me what I want animation. Um, I do not want those to loop. Okay. And now we have the flower dying. Oops. Oh, if I want to. Okay. And I need to key the shape keys into the dying animation. That's what I forgot to do. So when it begins to droop, I'm going to insert keyframe here at about 0.5. Insert a keyframe here at about 0.5. And then I need to finish it with the full. Yep, all right. This will be something I clean up later, but for now, that is looking okay. So the with the render pipeline, the frames per second is tied to um is tied to sorry, okay. So I have this profile right here, and I can set the frame limit. Right now it's set to 60. But I have a script that can change the frames per second at will in the game itself. Um, so right here, I got the target FPS is 60. I have 30, which I call it cinematic, which is kind of a cheeky reference to how a lot of AAA developers will call 30 frames per second. Oh, this is the cinematic frames per second. And then a lot of PlayStation games actually ran at like 20 to 25 frames, so I call 24 the retro look. Um, and as you can see, like it looks kind of bad and choppy. But if somebody wants to play the game kind of bad and choppy, they can, or they can play it. They can play it smooth. So for illumination, I have several options. I have the render pipeline lets me do by vertex lighting. So you can see how the lighting is kind of like blocky. and that's because I'm lighting it by vertex, which would have been the correct way to render it on the old hardware, because there wasn't like any actual real-time lighting with the PlayStation. It just colored in the vertices of the environment. So the more complex the environment, the smoother the lighting is going to be. But because the environment isn't very complex, I get like this blocky lighting, which is intentional. This is what I want. Um, However, I do believe, like, in my opinion, the best way to light a scene in this style is by baking it. So these are my lighting settings right here. I don't actually use environment lighting or real-time lights. I use mixed lights with shadow mask, and I have like a very low quality baking going on. So very few bounces, light map resolution of 16, which is like a quarter of what Unity recommends. A light map size of 256, and I find what that gives me is very believable vertex lighting without actually having to hand paint vertex lighting. I'm gonna click. First, I'm gonna save my scene. Oops. First, I'm going to save my scene, and then I'm going to generate lighting so you can see what the scene looks like as it bakes the lighting. And while it does that, I'm going to check my to-do list here. Okay, all right, yeah, nothing changed a lot because I'd already like baked the lighting, but I'll also use lighting probes. Um, I also use lighting probes to simulate how models would be darkened as they enter areas of darkness in PlayStation games. So I use real time lighting very little. I think real time lighting breaks the illusion of an old school PlayStation style game. Anyway, back to game dev. So when you use the syringe on the plant, I need to rig up its animation. So I'm going to create a new state. This is the animation controller for the plant. I'm just going to call this one flower dying. I want it to transition from any state because it is like, you know, the finality of the flower. Create a new parameter. Let's say call it flower death. And when flower death is true, we're going to trigger that animation. So when you use the syringe on the flower, object, animate. I want to change the flower. First, I want the flower to actually retract. Uh, so I need to disable its Boolean. Then I'm gonna wait another second, and then I'm going to trigger its actual dying animation. Wait half a second. I'm going to turn that animation off. All right, and then I want the camera to cut to the player while I switch the flower from its wilting form to like its goopy acid dissolved form. So I want the camera to kind of be positioned like this, that it's focused only on the player. And I can do that easily by duplicating a camera. I'm just going to call this flower dyeing cam. And this is an easy way to align your camera. If you click on game object and align with view, it aligns the camera with your view. So going back into my action list editor, I'm going to wait about 2 seconds. I'm going to go to the camera, switch camera to the flower dyeing cam. I want it to be instant. I'm going to add a note here. I'm going to toggle a comment. Play like an acid dissolve SFX. You know, kind of like a as the flower dies off screen. And then we're going to switch back. Return to last gameplay puts me back at the camera. And at this point, the flower is going to be replaced by kind of like a melted lump of goop. But I want to test this in game just to make sure that everything is kind of rigged up correctly. And I can tell the game to carry the full syringe on start, just for testing. All right, okay, all right. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's, that's workable. I can work with that. Um, there was something strange though. I'm gonna go back into right. Good enough for government work is what I like to say. I'm just gonna go back into my scene. Okay. Yeah, what is for some reason the flower is animating in a weird state. I'm just gonna check its, oh, okay, alright. So as you can see here, the blend shapes are like going out of control, and I don't know why. Because they should not be doing that. The idle. So this state controls the hand, but the hand is not the problem. I want to know why the flower is going insane. Yeah, the animation is rigged up correctly. Okay, the animation is rigged correctly. The actual dying animation looks correct on my end. Okay, for some reason the flower itself is animating in every state. So, back into Blender. Yeah, okay, all right. I may have catastrophically screwed something up. I think I understand why. I do not. Yeah, I don't want this keyframed onto okay. I don't want this keyframed onto every animation. But I tell you what, this is a problem that's going to be far exceed the scope of this stream. This is going to be one of those problems that I have to like actually tackle with my thinking cap on. I do not want to bore y'all. I do know that the animation is rigged properly. It's just I need to tweak why the blend shape is triggering for each animation state I have. which is just yeah, it's just not in the scope of what I want right now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a new model of the melted like hunk of of flour. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a couple of metaballs. Um, Metaballs are great because it's kind of like shaping with clay. I mean, look at this. So if I want to make like a just like a nasty like waxy thing, I can do it with metaballs, and then I can remesh them into like a much lower poly model. Something like this. I'm gonna rename the material to be melted flour mat. I'm going to convert these to meshes. I'm going to first I'm going to take a look at the poly count. Triangles is like 576. I think what I can do is I can like unsubdivide. We'll do that once, 3 times. And then I'm going to do tries to quads to try and clean it up just a little bit. Like it doesn't have to be perfect just because this is just a one-off. You know, I'm sure if any professional was grading my performance here, I would not hear the end of it. But I'm not a professional, and I don't need to make what's the word I'm looking for? Highly efficient models. I don't need to do that. I'm gonna call this melted flour mesh. Go into the shading. I'm going to add I'm going to add the texture that I have for the flour's texture. So assets, textures, animals. I'm going to do a cube. Let's do a let's do a cylinder projection. Oh, I'm about to sneeze. Oh, all right, there we go. Uh, I think instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a texture that I have that's I'm going to use this gross like tumor-y texture. And I can probably just I can probably just unwrap this. Yeah. And this will look a lot better in Engine because I don't have any filtering on my textures. But again, this is good enough for government work. I'm just going to call this melted flour, export into Unity. Yes, yes. A subdivided cube. Here, I'm just going to pull up a new scene. Screw you, default cube. A subdivided cube is the best way to create like, and you turn up the smoothness. This right here, this right here is a better option than just making a UV sphere. UV spheres are kind of a trap because a UV sphere stretches along the poles, but a subdivided cube has perfect quad topology, as Troop Good Guy has pointed out. So yeah, if you ever need to create something organically shape, use a subdivided cube, not a UV sphere. So back in Engine, I've got my melted flour. Going to extract the material. Nope, nope, nope. I don't want to place the material. I wanted to place the model. There we go. Okay. Uh, yeah, it actually, yeah, looks better than I thought it would. I'll have to come back and paint over this like horrendous seam, or I could just do the lazy game dev thing and turn that around. So the flour is going to melt into this. I'm going to change the precision on the geometry a little. This is going to allow me to this allows me to customize like how, if you'll notice, let me turn off the gizmos real quick. If you notice, as I like zoom in and out, the geometry is getting corrupted. That's because this slider lets me control the precision of the geometry. You'll notice that in a lot of PlayStation games, there's very strange like depth things that are happening, as far as like what triangles to render closer to the camera. And I can kind of I can pump this up to a realistic value where it doesn't like exaggerate as hard as you just saw, or I can make it like something that just is unsettling. This is less a technological effect for me and more of like how can I put off the players, and just yeah, messing with the rendering is a really easy way to do that. So I've created this goopy blob. I want this to be invisible at start. I don't want the player to actually be able to see it before it happens. So I'm going to say remember visibility, affect the children, retaining the prefab, and visibility on start is off. Let's go back into the interaction. So before the camera switches back, I want the melted flour to become visible, and I want the current flour to be invisible. So I got to add another remember visibility script to it. I have to actually add two of them because I want both the flour and the hand. Actually, it might be easier for me to just destroy this object because like I once the flower's dead, I don't need it anymore. Uh, so we've got the melted flour will become visible, and then I'm just going to destroy the the living flour, and then switch the camera back. So let's see what this looks like in game. Okay, the flower. Yep, flower dies. We cut to the player. I'm gonna have him look down. All right. All right. Yeah, that worked a lot better than I thought. So I'm going to need to disable the hotspot because I don't want you to interact with the flower anymore. I need to. I'm going to disable the this barbed wire like viney fence thing, and then I'll need to make an interaction. Uh, I will have the fence swing open after all of this happens. I'm probably gonna have it swing open off scene. So all right. So I want to disable the hotspot on the flower. Um, and then I want to disable. I want to make the this barbed wire portion visible. And this one might require some poking around because I don't know how I actually like set up the object. So please excuse my silence. I need to think for a bit. I've got the gate. The gate, yeah, the gate can just like swing open. However, the gate appears to be attached to. Okay, yeah. We're gonna have to go back into Blender and do some editing because the gate is actually attached to several other objects. It needs to be alone. It needs to be on its own. Okay, let me import locations, gas station exterior. Okay, all right. So yeah, you can see that the gate that I want to open is also tied to this piece over here. So I'm just gonna separate these two, separate them by selection, and I want to join them together so that they remain one static object. Call it like the barbed thorns. And I also want. Let me give you all a better view of what I'm working with, so you can actually like see what the textures and everything look like. Um, I also want to separate the barb thorn gate because what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an animation where the thorns kind of like melt away. I'm going to show you what. So yeah, once you destroy the flower, like I'm just gonna like yeah, I'm just gonna reduce the Y scale just to like show the thorns are like melting away in game. And before I do all of that, I need to reset the rotation. Otherwise, when I export it back into Unity, everything's going to be like flipped upside down. All right, so export gas station exterior, port back into Unity. Okay. So I've still got the thorns covering the door and the back gate. However, I nope, everything, yeah, everything looks good. Okay. Um, we're gonna go into the we're gonna go into this, and what I want to do is I want to create an animation where just like I just change the Y value of the Y scale, and I do have um, I'm gonna create a new animation clip. I'm animating. I'm gonna call this like Thorn Gate Melt. I want to key there, and then we'll say this is just gonna be like 1 second long. Just gonna be like a 1 second melting animation. Uh, oh, no, no, stop, please. Um, it would help if I selected the right object key this animation to, because otherwise I would have just melted the entire environment, which would have been a funny Easter egg. Uh, Rayan IDK, I am making Still Ridge, my point and click horror game. So I'm going to key the Y there, and so yeah, the gate is just going to kind of recede into itself. That is good enough for government work. So back to the interaction. It is a point and click adventure game like Gabriel Knight. If you've played Gabriel Knight or like King's Quest or Monkey Island or any of the many point and click adventure games. So I've disabled the hotspot, and now I'm going to animate the gate, the mechanism. For objects, I just play the animation directly. I don't use any parameters. So Thorny Gate. And the clip name is Thorny Gate Belt. I believe that's what I called it. And let's see what this looks like in game. Yeah, I need to fix up the animation. It's not syncing correctly, but and the gate itself did not melt, probably because I did not name it correctly. We're gonna go back into my objects controller. Oh, okay. It's not thorny gate melt. It is just thorn. You have to. Yes, it's a fixed camera game, like Resident Evil or Clock Tower. I use Clock Tower as like my main source of inspiration. The PlayStation game Clock Tower. So I need to change the name of the animation I just played. Flowered Wilt. Cut to camera, and then okay. Now I need to. Every time you create an animation by default in Unity, um, it automatically repeats it. So I just need to turn off the repeating animation, and then the last thing I need to do is like actually open the damn gate once all this stuff happens. All right. So animations, I do not want that animation to loop. Let me look at my checklist again. I've created the interaction with the flower and the syringe. I've created the pile of sludge. Take it easy, Rayan. I plan on doing this on my days off, so Tuesdays and Thursdays. I won't have anything this Thursday because I'm going off to my little sister's graduation. But yeah, for the future, I plan to stream Tuesdays and Thursdays. So have a good day. Okay, the last thing I need to do is make the actual gate open. So we're going to go back into animations. I do not believe I have an animation for the gate opening. I'm going to create a new clip. I'm just going to call this gas station gate open. I need to rotate along the y-axis, so I'm going to insert a key at 0. It should only take like a second to open up. Just rotate that gate to about, let's say, -80. And then, like have a squeaky sound effect for when the gate opens. Okay, this is called gas station gate open. Go back into my interaction. So the thorny gate melts. We will wait about a second. Then I want to animate gas station gate open. And that should be the end of the event. And I'm going to say coming up on the end of the stream, unless people want to watch me make a couple of sound effects, which I'm perfectly happy doing. Okay, so yeah, the animations on the flower are all messed up, but the important thing is that it is behaving how I want it to behave. So I'm just going to use the syringe on the flower again. It dies, cut to character, melting sound, and then the gate opens. So, okay. The gate should not be looping, and I need to make the thorny wall vanish. So thorny gate melt, and then I need the gas station gate open. So you stop looping. And I need to make this go invisible when I'm through with it. So it's visible on by default. Going back into the interaction, I want the gate to melt for about a second, and then I'm just going to turn it off. So object, visibility, thorny gate, invisible. I'm going to try this one last time, and I should be finished. So you inject the flower, it dies, cut to the player as it melts off screen. All right, yeah, okay, and then we can continue on to the next scene. I have been stuck on this scene for months. Just there's more to it than what I'm showing you. There's like an intro where the player drives up in his car to fuel up on gas. He runs into a mysterious delivery guy who's leaving. He has like a headache while smoking. next to this ashtray. You go inside. You talk to the clerk manning the gas station. There's a lot going on here, but me personally, as a game dev, I've been stuck just kind of like making tweaks here and there to this scene forever. So you have no idea how good it feels to finally be able to escape from this area. I'm gonna go back into my editor. I'm going to create a new hotspot called exit forest. So when the player interacts on this hotspot, they're going to enter a new scene, which is a forested area. I want this to be taller, wider. Bring it up a bit. I'm gonna call this the forest path. Um, the examine interaction. Just gonna place some use some placeholder dialogue here. It leads. No, that's not how you spell leads. It leads deeper into the forest. And then when you actually use the forest path, say that the player walks towards the hotspot. And when you actually use the forest path, I'm going to go down into scene. I'm going to switch. I switch scenes by name reference. So I want the forest path. So I want to switch to the forest path scene. I don't actually want yeah, I want to switch. I want to switch immediately. I don't remember if I use overlays or not. I think I do. So let's and eventually when I refactor everything here, when I go over and tweak it, I'm gonna make it so that you can't actually interact with this hotspot. In fact, here I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna do member hotspot. I want this disabled at start, and I only want it enabled after you kill the flower. That way you can't actually click on it when it's off screen and just kind of like clip through the environment. Although, hey, that'd be interesting for like speedrunners. So I'm going to enable the forest exit hotspot. And this should be good. This should be enough for today. Flower dies. Oh no, something horrible is happening off screen. Yep. Gate opens, and then we got the forest path. And let's see. I'll make some like muck sound as you walk through the goop. The goop. Um, and I believe what's happening here is I have not actually. Yeah, okay. Scene forest path couldn't be loaded because it has not been added to the build settings. So I know everything works. I just have to add the scene to my build settings, which like kind of shows you where I've been stuck in development for so long. So I am going to begin wrapping up this stream. If anybody has any like questions or just wants to shoot the breeze, I'm probably going to be ending the stream around 4 p.m. I'm gonna see what kind of sound effects I can create in the next 20 minutes, but I do just want to show off what's going on next. So when you exit the bathroom, or when you exit the gas station, you're gonna end up in this forested scene. I forgot about old Nakey Boy here. Let me hide this guy. I mean, like you didn't pretend you didn't see that guy. So you're gonna come out. You're gonna exit around here. Um, in this scene right here, this skybox I actually made in a Spyro the Dragon skybox creator. So this is all vertex painted, and this is how they created skyboxes for Spyro the Dragon, for games like Homeworld. Um, they hand painted them. But the character is gonna exit here. You're gonna walk down this forest path. Uh, and this is just to set the mood. I'm gonna have like some I'm gonna have like some creepy music going on. Um, there's gonna be like the sound of trees rustling. There's gonna be like this creek that is animating very convincingly. Let me see if I can shut off the grid. There we go. All right. You're gonna come through here. You're gonna walk through the water. There's gonna be like some mushrooms off to the side, some like dancing mushrooms, and then you're gonna exit through here, and then you're gonna end up in a maze, a forest maze, which I could have sworn I created. I did, yeah. The forest. Ooh, oh, here we go. Over here. Yep, there's gonna be like a forest maze. This is gonna be part of a puzzle. You need to create a You're gonna need to create a uh a compass out of some items in your inventory in order to reorient yourself through this maze. And then you're going to end up in the mutant tree grove where you have an encounter with something nasty. Yeah. So after this encounter with this tree man, this tree baby, you're going to run back through the forest maze, being chased by let's say a head on a centipede, and you need to use your previous navigation skills to escape from it through this maze. Um, and that's going to be like more or less the end of chapter one of the game. This escape from a centipede man. So I've got about 15 minutes left before I end the stream. If anybody has any questions or comments, or just want to tell me about how your day is going, I am going to try to work on some sound effects. I want to make a sound effect for when you open up the dumpster. Let me get back into yeah, I want like a sound effect for when you open the dumpster. Oh, man. It's like 91 degrees outside. Yeah, I've got a sound effect for just like opening a door. Um, I don't know if I have anything for like a heavier door open. So I'm gonna take a quick look at my asset library, so you guys can like see how poorly organized I store all of my files. Um, oh, what do we have here? Oh, okay. This is wow, were these sound effects taken from Mega Man Legends? Yeah, these are I call them Mega Man Legend sound effects, but these are actually from Future Boy Conan, Hayao Miyazaki's first directorial work, which influenced like influenced like 50% of Japanese video games, at least throughout the 80s. So when you hear like the Mega Man Legends sound effect, yeah, that's actually from Future Boy Conan. That does not have what I want. Yeah, these are all sound effects from Mega Man Legends. That's not what I want. I want like a heavy door opening. I've got shotguns. I've got monsters. There's Krotos. Oh yeah, these are all things. I've got like gun foley. Maybe surfaces. Will surfaces help me out? Hmm. I might be able to work with this. I might be able to edit this in Audacity. Okay. I think concrete. I'm gonna open up Audacity. I'm gonna pick one of these. Hey, how's it going, Kimbler? Unfortunately, you are catching the tail end of my stream. I'm about to finish up in about 15 minutes. I just want to create a few sound effects. All right, I think I can work with this sound. So I am not a sound engineer. I am sure somebody can school me on this. Generally, what I do for editing sound, I just go into I have a default compressor setting. The compressor, oh, excuse me, the compressor sets the peaks for what I want, and then the limiter averages those peaks out. So yeah, I do a compressor, I do a limiter, and then I do an EQ pass. So I do a very simple bass boost, and then I do a treble boost. All right, and why can I not edit my? Why can I not add any more filters? Did I? Uh, uh, okay, let's try this again. Let's try this again. Oh, is it ask? What is it? What is going on with Audacity? What's what's the problem, Audacity? Why can I not delete this clip? And I can't undo or redo. All right, that was strange. I don't know why Audacity was giving me such a problem. Let's try this again. So back in Audacity, I want to edit this clip. Compressor, limiter, and I want to normalize the sound generally between -9 and -12 dB, so that it's not too loud. I think I'm going to also change the. What is going on? What is going on with you, Audacity? Why are you Why can I not make more than 3 filter changes? This is not how I wanted to end the stream. So I'm just going to normalize the sound. I'm just going to use this basic, like, concrete. I'm going to see if it'll let me change the pitch. Okay, all right. I think I have a better sound effect in store. I think I have something better than this. I'm going to go back to my asset library. This right here is an archive of all the games I've made over time. It's kind of a mess, but I'm looking for my basement game. Uh, I'm looking for I'm looking for Hello Flower Kid Live. This is the tail end of the stream, but I'm losing my mind trying to. Here we go. I was losing my mind trying to find this folder that has a specific sound effect that I need. Got my room tone, boiler, vacation, clothing. I need a door. I need a door. Here we go. Door open. All right, that's not the right door. I need here door. Yes, okay. I'm going to edit this sound effect. So this squeaky door sound effect that I have here. I want to change the pitch because I want it to be slower. No, I need to change the tempo because I want it to be slower. Speed. I need to change the speed because I want it to be slower. Faster? I want it to be faster? I'm losing my mind. Okay, I'm going to cut it off from right here. Cut this off. Cut this off. I want this to go faster, and then I want the pitch to be slower. All right, yeah. It's beginning to sound like you're actually opening, that like the plastic door on a dumpster that you would find outside of a building. So I've made it faster. Now I want the pitch to be lower. Good enough for government work. We're going to fade this out. Fade out. And I want it to fade in. I'm going to export this as an OGG. Call it like dumpster door open. And then I'm going to reverse it. No, not invert. I want to reverse it. Yeah. Audacity is the blender of sound editing programs. It's got, it's terrible to work with, but it does everything you could want it to do. I think invert is reverse. Export that as an OGG. Call that dumpster door closed. All right, back in my game. Go to SFX, objects, import new asset. I use my desktop to stage everything because I am a monster. I got the dumpster door close and open. So we're gonna open. I'm gonna play a one shot of my dumpster door open. All right, and now I want to actually close the door when I'm finished with it. This is going to FL Studio. Yeah, I make all my music in FL Studio. I never thought about using FL Studio for actual audio editing. Um, okay, so once the player is done looking in the dumpster, I need to find a way to trigger them closing the door because I have no way of actually like tracking that. Um, I have this menu button over here called exit, and when you click on exit from here, let me show you in game what I'm talking about. Uh, I really need to fix like the camera. The camera is killing me. So when you click exit and you leave from this close up, I have no way of like actually tracking that the dumpster door should be closed from here, and I need to figure that out. Um, However, I am coming up on my time, so I don't think that is I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to that. But for now, I can cross that sound effect off of my to-do list. And I've got about like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Um, I got about 6 things I wanted to finish done today. And I have a list of more things that I want to work on at a later date. But for now, this has been a pretty productive 2 hours. Um, so yeah. I'm just going to just kind of wind down, talk about my plans. Going into the future, I work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights. So I work 4 days a week, well, 3. I kind of want to stream going forward Tuesdays and Thursdays, because those are the Tuesday is my day off, and Thursday is a day when I'm not like working out at the gym in the morning, so I should be able to not be dead tired to stream. So Tuesdays and Thursdays going forward, and they are just going to be like this. I'm just going to create a checklist of things I want done. Um, this was like much livelier than I was expecting, which is great. I love hanging out and chatting with people. I'm going to put my games wish list and the link to the Steam page in the description. Um, and I'll just yeah, I'll see y'all. I'll see y'all in the future. So thanks for hanging out. Open up OBS and transition away.